Ship Owners Association of Nigeria, an SOAN perspective on solutions that will improve the maritime sector. The importance of shipping in a nation's economy is extensive. Analysis from a research undertaken by the International Consortium of Universities and independent consultants from Belgium, Germany, Greece, Holland, and the UK have shown the qualified effect of an industrialized maritime system. In the case of the United States, it has been recently calculated that for every job in the merchant marine, 4.4 additional jobs are created in the economy, and for every dollar of household income in this sector, $3.4 of additional income is created in the economy at large. Similar results have demonstrated for Holland, where the research also featured. For Nigeria, it is regarded as having the potential to be the second largest revenue earner after oil and gas. According to industry watchers, it has over 3,000 kilometers of navigable inland and intracoastal waterway channels, exclusive of freshwater lakes. It generates more than 70% of maritime trade activities in cargo, upstream and downstream sectors in the entire West Africa. It contributes over $15 billion yearly to the Nigerian economy, with a potential to generate $50 billion annually in the near future. It has the capacity to provide not less than 5 million jobs for the Nigerian youths presently combing the streets. It has the potential to grow Nigeria's gross domestic product at 12% instead of the present level of between 5.6% to 7.7%. But sadly, this important subsector has suffered neglect. Since the demise of the NNSL, indigenous capacity in maritime has dwindled, giving rise to capital flight and unemployment. Many of the ships of our coast aren't registered in Nigeria. They sail under foreign flags, and they don't have to pay sufficient taxes for the wealth they generate. Not less than 2 trillion naira is lost to capital flights in the maritime sector of our economy annually. Successive governments and relevant agencies have applied several interventionist initiatives to arrest these developments and improve the industry. An example of this is the Nigerian Coastal and Inland Shipping Act, also known as the Cabotage Act, which is a framework that is intended to safeguard domestic maritime trade from complete foreign domination. Unfortunately, these gains have been marginal, especially when compared with the huge potential yet untapped. The desire to boost our industry and promote indigenization with uncompromising world standards amongst maritime players in the sector has necessitated the birth of the Ship Owners Association of Nigeria, SOAN. SOAN comprises ship-owning companies with proven track records of activities in the upstream, downstream, trawling, and cargo subsectors within the industry. We strive in an industry that changes every day with a network of some of the foremost ship owners in Nigeria. We forge ahead to meet the intricate demands of the maritime economic sector. We are equipped with world-class carriers that include offshore supply vessels, oil tankers, trawling vessels, containers carriers, cargo vessels, and trawling vessels. We are SOAN. As an emerging Nigerian shipping bloc, we are actively invested in the development of local expertise, empowering seafarers and building capacity. SOAN members support NIMASA by providing sea time for seafarers and cadets with about 100 training berths presently provided to support the initiative. We have formed deep partnerships of growth, among which is the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council, who incidentally has invited SOAN to the Commonwealth Business Forum scheduled to hold in Malta this November, alongside the biannual Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. We have a progressive portfolio as we continue to grow our presence around the continent and the world at large through the expanding network of our members, making our global trade happen for Nigeria as we move wet and dry commodities, goods and products around oceans to the people who need them is what we do. Being the best in the class service and operations of an international scale is how we do it. Our network is set to become an important enabler of maritime trade and, most importantly, a name the maritime industry can trust as we stay ahead of change by innovation. We are set to be a key component in Nigeria's commerce and maritime sector, extending our reach into some of the most rapidly expanding economies as we connect the world's key locations and trade lanes. SOAN is set to partner with its stakeholders as we consolidate and grow the maritime industry in a way that stimulates macroeconomic growth and emancipation for our country. In the middle to long term, SOAN has the capacity to increase investments in the industry by its members and other ship owners at large, increase competitiveness, improve employment creation, increase foreign exchange and generate huge incomes for the government, massively reduce capital flight, improve the capacity of seafarers, to accelerate development of our national defense and security system. These and many more SOAN can do if we get the requisite support from the following stakeholders. Government needs to demonstrate the will to develop the industry through a wholesome review of the cabotage law. The cabotage law, as lofty as its intentions, does not sufficiently encourage shipbuilding in the country because we do not have sustainable maritime structure that will support it. Cabotage waivers and custom duties make it rather cumbersome to register vessels in the Nigerian flag. An improved transparency in the administration of cabotage vessels financing fund. Other funding supports mechanisms and channels that hasten tonnage developments amongst indigenous operators in the industry should be implemented. The bureaucratic process of registering ships with the relevant regulatory stakeholders needs an urgent review to modernize and fast-track the procedure with the aid of an online technology where necessary. Our existing tax regime needs to be moderated to become a lot more business-friendly and competitive. We need to be given a greater role to play in the Nigerian Seafarers Development Program, whilst NIMASA plays the role of regulator and enabler. Giving our facilities and the world-class manpower at our disposal, it is pertinent for us to take a leading role in training our cadets and seafarers with government support and funding, as this will go a long way to creating savings for the government whilst boosting local capacity. we need to increase the presence of knowledgeable technical professionals appointed into critical maritime agencies, though some progress has been made in this regards by NIMASA. It is important for government to put in place policy measures and incentives that will encourage entrepreneurs to invest in these areas. Other areas that need urgent attention include shipbuilding and repairs, coastal shipping services, terminal jetty development and operations, ship breakage and wreck removal, ship chandling and bunkering services. IOCs need to continuously open bid processes in the issuance of contracts. This will reduce single sourcing that allows portfolio companies to strive at the expense of better competent hands. The upstream sector of our economy is present with the credible indigenous companies with state-of-the-art technical know-how. These companies own and operate world-class fleets that are duly registered with the relevant agencies. They should be patronized to enhance capacity. Delays in contract payments amongst IOCs as a result of the absence of contributors from the relevant equity partners also needs to be attended to. SOAN is convinced that with this support from our stakeholders, we will be able to harness our maritime potentials by improving indigenous participation in the upstream, downstream, and other areas of shipping to deliver us over time. We prepare today for the future, supporting the government to focus on a big picture that makes the world smaller and Nigeria's economy bigger. We are indeed SOAN.